Well, welcome to this modality deep dive into hypnosis. I'm super excited and grateful to be here with you today. Kelsey Corey here. I'm an emotional fitness coach and the founder of Energy for Impact and the EFI Gym. And I am passionate about supporting people to feel proud of who they are and how they're showing up in this world, doing so in a way as we're riding the emotional roller coaster of life and supporting ourselves as we do so. Now, special guest joining us today is Michelle Peña. Very excited to welcome Michelle. She is passionate about bringing transformation to the lives of women. She knows what it's like to lose yourself and to feel disconnected from who you are and who you want to be. And Michelle believes that it's never too late to live a more authentic and rooted life. And so as a transformational coach, her goal is to guide you down a path towards your best and truest version of yourself. Michelle, I'm so grateful for you to be here. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here. So excited to talk to you today. Yeah. Been looking forward to it all day, actually.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Hypnosis. It's such an incredible tool and modality. And I was exposed to hypnosis as a tool for personal development, right? It's something we've all seen in movies or on shows, but from the sense of using it to support yourself, I was introduced to it in my NLP certification. So it was one of the tools that we were taught there. And I was absolutely mind blown, and that it is in learning so much about the subconscious mind through NLP that hypnosis is basically like that direct path that guides you there and really helps to support you with it. So I am excited as we go on this journey today to dive deeper into and unpacking exactly what hypnosis is all about. But I'd love to hear, how did life guide you to becoming a hypnotherapist?
Oh my goodness. That's been a long journey. I never expected to be doing this work, to be using this powerful tool, hypnosis. I was the one that was like, that's woo woo. That's like the stage thing. Like, what are you doing? You're entering my mind. Like, no, that's what I was. So I was very hesitant, but my background is in social services and, social work and psychology. And, I've been working with children and youth and families for 15 plus years. And so just helping them to release and heal, emotional blocks, to gain a greater sense of self, healthy self-image. And so I loved doing that work. But as my career evolved, and I started to venture out on my own, I started to do more one-on-one work around, particularly working with women, around self-love and doing a lot of inner child work, which I love, and emotional resiliency. And so a lot of my clients that I was seeing were struggling with, self-esteem, self-love, not feeling separate from themselves. So my work was all, and continues to be, all about helping women to come home to themselves, to a deeper rooted sense of self, which you mentioned at the beginning of our talk. And so I incorporated a lot of energy healing into my work as well, not just on a mindset level, doing counseling, but also the energy piece. So hypnotherapy came around because I wanted to go deeper in my work. Psychotherapy and counseling is fantastic, and it helps clients on an intellectual level to understand things and understand, what we may be carrying. But with hypnotherapy, what it does is it really focuses on the actual experience and how to reframe that and even interrupt and change the emotional attachment to things. So for me, I was introduced to it from a colleague who said, "Hey, you should check this out." I was like, no, again, this is woo woo, this is crazy. And he was like, no, like really, check this out. It will take you to another level, kind of thing. So I sat on it for a while, and eventually I was like, okay, let me try it. And if I don't like it, then that's okay. But just like you with your experience, as soon as I was introduced to it, I was like, wow, this is amazing stuff.
I've seen all my life.
Yeah, yes. And what I love about it is that it really taps clients into their own power to heal themselves. And that's what I love about it. Yeah.
Ooh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. I love it. I love that vision, and and that we had the similar preconceived idea of as great as those stage shows are from an entertainment point of view, they really haven't done the modality that much help in seeing the value that it can bring to people's lives.
Yeah. So that's why I'm really excited about this chat, so that we can dismiss and dispel these myths and really get a good understanding of what hypnosis is and what it does. So
absolutely. And so talking about those myths, like one of them that that I really appreciated was, I remember being asked, well, I don't want to act like a chicken. Like, am I going to, you know, I'm under control, right? Like, it's this concept that it's mind control to be hypnotized. Learning that the subconscious mind will only accept suggestions, and that's what happens in the suggestive part of a hypnosis, right? Will only be given the directions and the guidance that is consistent with your own values and beliefs.
Yes.
Right? Like you are, it is still there. It is protecting you. You have that choice, you have that power, and you maintain that at all times throughout a session, right? So what are some of the other kind of, I guess, myths and ideas about preconceived ideas about hypnosis that you find come up a lot for clients that you need to help guide them otherwise?
Yeah, that I can insert things into their mind, right? And that I like I've heard that quite a few times, and or I've heard what was the other, that I will like lose control in it, right? And that I can manipulate. It's a lot around manipulating your mind is the fear, right? You're going to implant something that later will kind of kick in or get triggered. And I want people to really understand that hypnosis is self-hypnosis, 100%, meaning that I don't have the control to manipulate your mind in a way that's going to, you know, cause you to cluck like a chicken or anything, unless there is an agreement to that. But, you know, like it is, you are in full control of the whole thing. The whole session. The job of the job of the hypnotherapist is to just guide the client there. So a lot of those myths, like you said, that's the main one around that is loss of control, implanting things in my mind, things of that sort, or even revealing secrets is another one too. That while I'm under hypnosis, I will just start to talk and release some of my deep, dark secrets. And again, your subconscious is there to work with you and not against you. So, yeah.
One of the things I loved in my NLP training was that our coach and trainer was describing your subconscious as your best friend. And it's about becoming best friends with your subconscious and embracing it and understanding that it is there to support you, right? So it's building that trust, and that's one of the great tools, or one of the great ways in which you can use hypnosis, is to help to build that self-trust and connection to yourself. And I love how in our chats previously you've mentioned that like hypnosis is a natural state. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we enter in and out of trance, hypnosis trance throughout our days. So when you're dreaming at night, right, you're accessing your subconscious. When you're driving and you know you get to your home, you're like, I don't remember turning left, or I don't remember driving, you know, it is that focused attention. Or when you're reading a really good book, you know, when you read a really good book and you can envision the characters, what they look like, crying when you're reading a book or getting angry when you're reading a book, you are in focused attention and you're in that trance where you're accessing your imagination, your increased awareness and concentration. And that's what hypnosis is. So it's very natural. Anybody can enter hypnosis because you do it anyways on a regular basis without even really knowing it, right? Even when you're falling asleep at night is another example of entering a hypnotic trance. So, yeah.
I love it. And often also I feel like watching the TV, right? Like
watching TV is another thing. Yep.
Yeah. Fall into that. So, and I love how you're referencing that it's focused attention. So when I found out that it's that combination of relaxation with that focus, it was like, oh, because what that helps is to bypass our logical, rational cognition and get into connecting with our subconscious, the home of our emotions, right? Yeah.
And if we look at it as the conscious mind is where our stream of thoughts happen, our stream of consciousness. So that's all of our self-talk that we have throughout the day going on. And that's kind of like a filter if we look at our conscious filter. So with hypnosis, is what we're doing is we're reducing the activity of the conscious mind so that we can access and tap into the conscious mind where our emotions are, our imagination is, where we daydream, right? And so we don't have the conscious filter saying, well, that's not true, right? This isn't reality, right? Our subconscious doesn't come with judgment, right? It just really believes and believes what we tell it repeatedly, right? So, yeah.
And believes the best for us.
Right? Believes the best. It believes the best. Our subconscious knows everything about us from the moment we've entered this earth. All of our experiences, all of our feelings, everything. And it's always trying to bring us back into balance. So things will pop up. Your subconscious, are you ready to heal this? This could be a trigger. This could be a repeated behavior. And if you're not ready, it'll file it away. And then it'll come back up again until you're ready to address it, right? So it's very, very powerful.
Yes. I love that. I love that concept. I've had it described, the analogy of your subconscious as like a library of all your experiences, right? And I just picture it as just rows and rows and rows, and each book on the shelf is like a chapter or an experience in your life. And it's incredible how we can, as you mentioned, go back into our memory, our imagination, and bring back up those experiences that we've had, and that the subconscious will only ever gift you what you are ready to move through, and you get that choice. It always comes back to, we have the power. And that's where I feel that the conscious and subconscious, the beauty of them, learning to work together as a team, right? Are we consciously choosing to move through this and learn through this, even if it's uncomfortable right now? We've been so conditioned to avoid discomfort that often we will say, not today, and just continue suppressing. And we both know the impact of doing that with our emotions over time.
Exactly.
All the time. Both, and I know it for myself as well as see it in clients, right? And it's just that aha moment when you realize that you can access it, you can work with your subconscious to help release in that way that it's quite passive, right? That's what I like about hypnosis as well, is it's such a passive experience of being able to connect in with the subconscious to help it shift, to help it understand things differently, to rewrite or write the next and the new chapter of that book. So one of the questions that came through from our members as we were preparing for this is that, what if it doesn't work for me? What if I can't go into trance, right? Because I think a lot of people have that sense of oh no, this isn't going to be for me. So what would you say to that?
That's not the first time I've heard it. So it's a great question. And I get it often actually in my practice, is what if I can't relax? Or they'll come in and say, well, I can't meditate. I can't, my mind is just running and there's no way. And so the first thing I say is just coming in with an open heart and open mind, right? And coming into a mindset of, this will work. Because again, your mind is going to believe what you tell it repeatedly. So if you set the tone of, this is not going to work, then it's not going to work, right? Remembering that you have the power. You are your own self-healer. So as I mentioned earlier, we enter into trance naturally all the time. This is just someone helping you to do it when you're awake, right? Versus in a dream state. But so just being really open to it. And all of my clients, I can say, that have said, I can't do it or I can't relax, they are surprised at how relaxed they are, right? When they open up to the relaxed state, when they just lean into the relaxation, right? And so it is, our bodies and minds know how to naturally relax on their own. We've just so used to being in this culture of busy, busy, busy and doing, that we're in this fight or flight all the time. And we've forgotten how to really and truly just pause and relax, right? And being really present. So this helps you to do that. So it's trusting that it is a natural state. Yeah.
I love that. Trusting, knowing that your mind and body know what to do, and giving yourself permission. I find that a number of times, and again, it's always as it is for me, so it is for the people that I attract to work with me, it's a sense of like, you deserve to relax. You deserve this opportunity to release and let go of the tension that you're holding, both mentally and physically and emotionally, right? Like all of that is living within us. And when we give ourselves that permission to let go, that's when the change can occur. That's when the shifts can occur. And I've described it as, the more you practice it, right? Whether it's structured hypnosis relaxation, or whether it's meditation, or any of the other tools that we have, really, the more you practice it, the more you're strengthening that muscle of your ability to go into it. And the less it's going to be about needing to consciously choose it, and the more it's going to be that you're guided to it, and your mind and body are like, it's time now. This is what can support us, and this is what we need. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's chat a little bit about some of the benefits of hypnosis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where would you like me to start? There's so many.
Well, I have a few here that I'll list off, and then you can extrapolate on them or add in any others, right? So we've already touched on the sense of releasing, we'll frame it as old habits and belief systems. The library of our lives and the experiences we've had and who we've decided to be based on those. This has been, from my personal journey of transformation, the biggest aha. It's like, what we've experienced doesn't define any of what's to come in our future unless we let it. So we have that choice to say, okay, this is where I'm coming from, and choose where you're going and help to redefine that. So releasing those old habits and limiting beliefs and outgrown beliefs. I really like the concept of, we decided to believe something about ourselves, the world, how we need to interact with it. And that served us at a time. It served us as who we were being in that way. But we don't have to keep reading that story and saying, well, this is how I need to be in this circumstance. We can recreate that. If we've outgrown that, and who we are now and who we're showing up as now is different, we get to choose to redefine that. And hypnosis is such a great tool to help us rewrite that.
And to shift perspective, right? It is about shifting perspective. Yes, and replacing those limiting beliefs with more self-fulfilling beliefs. If we look at it as, as a child, our conscious filters are not formed before the age of 10. So we're just kind of believing, as a child, we're believing what we're told. And so as adults, this is why so many of us struggle with emotional challenges, because we haven't resolved those things. If we didn't feel that we were loved enough or accepted enough or seen, we move into adulthood hanging on to that. And, that's why we experience these emotional challenges, because we haven't healed it on a subconscious level. So hypnosis, the benefit of that is to do that inner work thing, the emotional weight that you're carrying, the beliefs that you have been carrying since childhood, not just adulthood, but childhood, that has really impacted choices and decisions in life. And you can, and when you make those shifts, your life opens up to something completely different, right? You're making more empowering choices and more empowering decisions for yourself. Hypnosis is great for relieving stress and anxiety. I see a lot of people in my practice around that, particularly now in the times that we're in, right? It's so needed, just to calm down the nervous system and to teach your mind and body that it's okay to relax. You don't need to be on all the time. right? And that constant stress and anxiety, wreaks havoc on our bodies, right?
Living in that heightened, energetic, emotional state, returning to regulation, returning to calm, coming back down, giving yourself that time to relax, to unwind, to find neutral ground almost, and then from there be able to move forward in ways that feel more aligned, right? You were mentioning earlier about like we can be disconnected from ourselves. And I feel that that's often when we're in that heightened, stressed state. It's just like, we're like, where am I? Who am I? It's quite disconcerting, right?
It is.
And a few of the other realms in which hypnosis can be supportive is often people use it to release phobias, and help with weight loss. Do you have any experience specifically with any of that?
Yes. So fears, weight loss is great. It's great as I always recommend like having a nutritional as a complementary plan to something already, right? So seeing a nutritionist or just changing eating habits, but it will help you to stay on track with that. For me, I go to the emotional piece more than just kind of like the quote unquote willpower, because we'll just throw that out the window. So hypnosis will really help to interpret the habitual patterns and really hit, our emotional drives. So that could be with the eating, as you suggested, or, losing weight. It really helps. So I work for me on the emotional piece around that drives us, because our emotions drive our behavior. So yeah.
Every which way, right?
Deep breath there, because yep, it sure does. Yeah.
Yep. And it's so fascinating how much we fight them, how much we push against our emotional state, and we tell ourselves we shouldn't be feeling this way, and this isn't how I should be. And it's like, where do we get that belief from, right? Like, and for you to reference the lack of a filter, we take everything as fact as we're growing up. So it really is incredible when we start to piece things together. And I'm sure, as you referenced earlier too, your work with inner child and helping to heal that through hypnosis, like the benefits of that, oh my goodness, life-changing, right?
I've seen so many incredible things, and people come out of inner child work just amazed, because just the transformation that happens with resolving what they have been hanging on to for so long, it really is just something that I'm so honored to witness, and just to see again, like I keep saying this, but it's so true that you are your own self-healer. And people really get that when they do this type of work, because they're working with their own subconscious mind. Yeah.
And how to do so and to connect in with it.
Yeah.
I love it. So I'd love to hear from you the structure in which a typical session would run with you, because I think we're touching on and we're explaining and exploring the impact of it all and what it all involves and how great it is. If someone was to come in and sit down, if we were about to go into a session, what would the flow be? So that, because often I find once people have an idea of what's to come, then they feel a lot more comfortable and confident going in. Yeah. And
that's the first step. I always have a 20-minute free session, intro session before anyone I continue. So we sit and chat, and that's the session where I talk about the myths, and if they have any concerns, what hypnosis is, what to expect, any of their fears that they may have, right? The most important thing with hypnosis and sessions is that you trust the person, and that you feel comfortable with them, because if you don't, it's not going to work, right? There's going to be that block. So for me, that's the most important step in setting up a session, is having those conversations first. And then when the client comes to see me the following, I check in, we look at their goals, what they want to achieve. And then I talk about everything. So I create a plan for them. This is what I think what this will look like. And we set that plan it out, there's an agreement, so they're in agreement with it. It's not me telling my client this is what you need to do. It's both of us agreeing, because it's a collaborative relationship. And again, they're going to be doing the work as well. I'm going to be their guide. And so I love to put some really beautiful music in the background, high frequency music that hits the cells of the body, depending on what they've come in to see me for. And I just guide them through. They're in a comfortable chair. I have my salt lamp on. The lights are lowered. Like, I just really like to create a really cozy, comfortable, relaxing environment for each of my clients, because this is their time, right? To really shut out the outside world to attend to their well-being. So, and then I take them through the session, and everything that we've talked about prior is what I'm going to be talking to them throughout the session. So sometimes it's just them receiving the suggestions in a session. But if we're doing something like inner child work, I will check in with them and ask them what they're experiencing, and they will respond and let me know what's going on, and I'll be able to guide them along the way as they are moving through that. So, and then after the session is complete, we do a debrief and just let them continue to process, because they're still suggestible after the session. So I don't talk too much, but just enough to just make sure that they're okay. We ground ourselves, and then we complete the session from there. Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful, because that time to integrate the power of a session afterwards is so potent as well, right? So
yeah.
I just hearing all of that and knowing what's to come with your experience and you sharing your gifts inside the EFI gym with the group hypnosis. I love that explanation, because I can just see for all of the members that join, and with the community class too, for anyone who joins, to getting to set that space for themselves as well, and honoring that it's that time that they're taking to show up for themselves, to support themselves, to block out the outside world, tune inward, spend that time reconnecting. It's such a powerful experience. So thank you for painting that picture. It was really, really cool. I'm curious to know, is there a particular, I guess, like success story from a client, or an impact that you either personally have had from experiencing hypnosis or guiding hypnosis that you'd love to share?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's tricky. Okay, so I just have so many wonderful stories, because I see people just fall into it and love it. But I would say really the biggest transformations is people who are hesitant about the hypnosis, but they're ready to do the work, right? They're not sure about it. To be honest, the majority of people that come to me have never experienced hypnosis, right? And so they're usually coming to me at a time when they feel like this is kind of the last thing that they're going to do, unfortunately, which should be like the first thing, but it's all good. And, you know, trusting that where you are on your journey is perfect. And so they come to me at a time where they're really ready to do the work. So, you know, the most powerful sessions for me is the inner child work. When I see a client who's really struggling with personally self-esteem, great at work, powerhouse at work, but when it comes to relationships, intimate or friendships, or even with family, they struggle a lot with these self-defeating beliefs of not being enough in some way. And so when we look at it a little bit more deeply, we can see where it originated from, where those beliefs were picked up from. And this is not about pointing fingers or blaming. This is about curiosity for your healing, right? And so, so once we get to that place of where it originated from, we can do that beautiful inner work to then dispel these beliefs. And the transformation is confidence, and I'm leaving this relationship and I deserve better, and I'm setting boundaries for myself, and it just goes on and on and on. So it's just so like, I know my self-worth, I feel more connected to myself. Mm-hmm. So it's just wonderful to see that transformation happen from I'm not too sure to this place of where they just blossom into this new person, this person they've always been, but was just, you know, hiding from the piles of self-defeating beliefs, right? So it's just removing those layers for them to get to who they really are.
Oh, It's so beautiful. This work is so beautiful, and whichever tool is being used to support it, that is that outcome. When you see that shift in somebody, and it comes out in body language, it comes out in the words that they use, it comes out in the eyes, right? The sparkle of the eyes, and it is so powerful. And I love that you referenced it's not about blaming and shaming, right? Because so often we can, when we realize where something's coming from, we can then come in with our judgment, come in with our ideas of how we should have done it better or it could have been different, or releasing that and bringing that energy of curiosity. It's beautiful. It's beautiful because then it's that expansiveness. It's that opportunity for the growth and the, well, let's rewrite that script. What would you rather believe instead? Where are we going instead? Who are you becoming today? Who are you choosing? Oh, it's just so powerful. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's all of that. Yes.
All of that. It's all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so a curiosity from another one of our members,
Mm-hmm.
how long do you need to be hypnotized for it to have an effect?
It's interesting. I've never had that question, but I love it. I don't think that there's a time limit, right? I think as you continue to practice it, it becomes much easier to move into trance quite quickly and into deep levels of it. So depending on what you're doing, you could spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like whatever is appropriate for what you're wanting to do. I'll give you an example, like for myself, in my own practice, what I'll do is, I'll spend, depending on how much time I have, right? I'll spend maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes just in hypnosis, just, working with myself and getting to a place where I'm like, okay, I'm good. It may be just affirming some self-fulfilling beliefs or things of that sort, or just for relaxation and releasing stress and tension. But yeah, I don't believe that there is a time limit that you need to be like 20 minutes and that's good. Yeah. So it's really, I think it's very particular for each person and the type of what you're working on in hypnosis, right? So for example, if I'm doing inner child work, that may take a little bit longer because we're working through a couple layers or a few layers in the inner child work. Whereas if I'm working with somebody, so that may take, most of my sessions are an hour long. So that may take, anywhere from 30, maybe 20, 30, 45 minutes, depending on what what we're dealing with and what we're trying to work through. To something for 20 minutes or 15. It really depends, right, for the person. Yeah, but I find that if you take your time with it, it's more effective. So as long as you're not rushing through it, you're taking the time to relax and to really just move into that deep state of relaxation. Yeah,
I love that. So I guess it's about being realistic with what you can achieve in the time that you're allocating to it. So if you know you're only taking 10 minutes, don't think you're going to be diving deep into some inner child stuff. Like, stay in the realm of which you're able to connect to and feel that it's more about the quality of it over getting right down deep in there. And I love it because for my own practice as well, I have a recording of 13 minutes long, and so that hypnosis I tend to do just as I'm heading to bed. So it'll be like I'm not quite ready to fall fully asleep, but comfortable, I'm relaxing, I'm supported, and I gift that to my subconscious as we're heading into sleep time, because then it gets to marinate in there and live in there and be that support. And so it's just gorgeous. The next question, kind of guiding into that from a member, was, when is the best time of day to do a hypnosis?
Well, I think you just said it right there. Yeah, at night, really at night. Because again, we're working with subconscious. So if you're drifting off to sleep and whether you're listening to a hypnosis audio like you do, or if you are carrying yourself into hypnosis, doing self-hypnosis, and then drifting right off to sleep, you are continuously working with subconscious, right? Just before you go to sleep, right into your sleep state. So things will deepen even more. right? Your subconscious is primed to receiving all of that. So one of the things, that's why it's so important at night to shut off that phone, turn off the TV, be careful of, conversations you're having, like an argument before bed. You don't want to take that with you before you go to sleep at night, because it's going to ruminate in subconscious. So it's really important what we're feeding our mind before we go to sleep, because that's the time when we're most susceptible to things. So, and suggestible as well. Yeah.
I love that age old, don't go to bed angry with
Yeah.
your energy. That's why it's all to do with the subconscious. I love that. And there was one other thing that came up for me there. What was it? Where is it? It's this opportunity. It's kind of like you really get your money's worth, right? If you're going to take 15 minutes before bed to do a hypnosis, then the impact of it and the time that it takes that it's integrating in your system is however many hours you're sleeping for and beyond, kind of thing. So I think that's a really beautiful way to. We're very, time poor in this world these days, right? Like time is one of our most valuable assets. And so that opportunity to feel like you're maximizing it and really getting something from it is really fun. Another way that I love to integrate, you mentioned about this, we're very suggestible going into sleep, like the suggestions part of the hypnosis. In my training, we were taught to take those and put them as the subliminal messaging underneath, as you mentioned, kind of high vibration music. So you can have a track and create a subliminal track. So you've got those amazing messages, those uplifting, empowering, supportive messages for your subconscious, and it can still connect to those, even though you can't consciously hear the messages. They're there, they're behind, your subconscious is picking up on them. So I think it's about a 25-minute track where I've repeated the suggestions throughout underneath. And I use that personally as like a Pomodoro timer of a work block. So I'll play the track. I'll know that when it finishes is when it's time to have a break. And I'll know that it's also giving me a personal boost. It's a script that I wrote called Setting Yourself Up for Success. So it's just really impactful, the ways in which we can consciously use trance and the messaging to support ourselves as we're working to become these versions of ourselves as we go forth, right? So
absolutely fun. Yeah, and so powerful. It's great. I love that.
I love it. And that's why I'm so excited to be welcoming you into the gym. And the way in which we'll be integrating the hypnosis sessions is we'll have the monthly group hypnosis. We're going to, as a team, vote on the different themes that we're looking to explore. And I always find it's magical how, and I'm curious, I'm confident, but also curious to hear whether you find that whatever's coming up for you in life, you see it and you're mirrored it by your clients. Does that happen for you often?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I say you think my clients like, you've helped me so much. I'm like, you're helping me. You don't really like it is this, interchangeable relationship for sure. This collaboration. So
exactly, collaborative and co-beneficial. That's a word. If not, I've made it up. But and so the beauty of it is, we'll have the theme. We'll as a community, we'll be connecting with and seeing what's coming up for us all, and having you guide us through and co-creating what is suggested to us, what is guided to us in those experiences. So I'm very, very excited, thrilled even, to be welcoming you on board to do that. And we'll be kicking it off later this month with the community class. So super excited for that. But I'd love for you also, Michelle, you've got your one-on-one practice. How can people, if they're curious to experience a personalized session, how could they connect with you and learn more about what you offer?
Yeah, they can, my website, michellepeña.ca. Maybe we can put it in the chat or somewhere where they can access that. And on there, there'll be a link to a 15-minute free consultation. Like I said, that's the most important step before we begin our sessions. And so takes you to a online scheduler. I have my dates availability there. You can plug in what's when you're available, when you can come see me, and I can see you that way. The other way as well is that I'm offering monthly online self-care circles for women. So I do that every third Saturday of each month. And it's just on here, like on Zoom as well, where we just we come together and we talk about self-care. I take everyone through a meditation, and it's just, again, another avenue to your own self-care and attending to your well-being. So all of those sessions, the self-care sessions, it's called the pause. Those are free sessions that I offer once a month. So people can work with me either way through the pause, or if they would like to see me one-on-one, they can just go to my website and schedule a 15-minute, and we'll go from there.
I love it.
Yeah.
So much. It's such a beautiful way to share your gifts, to share your offerings. And there was another thing. I'm like dropping my ideas as I'm just so enthralled by you. Right? Because there was one other thing that popped up to share about you. Oh, it will definitely. You referenced about leaving the link. All of the information will be shared with members on the call, and then also wherever this recording ends up, so that people know how to connect with you and go from there. And yay!
Amazing.
Is there anything else as we move towards officially closing this time and open it up to connect with the members for any other questions?
I'm just looking forward to meeting all the members and who comes out for the hypnosis sessions. I'm really looking forward to it. So I thank you so much for inviting me to come and share hypnosis with your members. Yeah.
Yay. I am thrilled. And truly, one of the best parts of all of this is that when other instructors are guiding the sessions, I get to come and show up as a member as well. So all of my parts are very thrilled and excited to have this experience. Thank you so much for joining today, Michelle. It's been such a joy getting to chat together. Yay.
Thank you.
Big hugs to you.
Big hugs. Take care.